possible.
当您需要帮助时，请联系乘务员。
Please contact flight attendants when you need help.
女士们、先生们，感谢您的关注，祝您旅途愉快。
Welcome to Polynesia, which is my new resort and theme park found in Florida. I'm super excited to show you what I've done off camera and what I've been doing these past 2 weeks. And before that, let's just jump in. So this is my theme park so far. As you can see, we've got coaches, cars, car park and roads all set up and ready. I will be doing the decorating in today's video, setting up the starting entrance and for both the resort and the theme park. And I've done all this off camera just because it's very time consuming, but I will be doing the planting in today's video and a couple of decorations that I've done. I have done 2 things off camera. I did the entrance off camera because I had so much footage that I honestly could not shorten it down. It was just too much, too many different types. It just took me so long to master the building type I want to do for this. So I've got it all down and I've got them all up and set up, all ready to show you at the end of the time lapses if you want to see them, or if you want, you can just skip to the end by using the timestamps down below. As you just saw, that road where the bus was passing is going to be a zebra crossing. I might change it to tarmac in the future just so it blends in there. And then in front of you now should be the entrance. So the entrance is going to be circular and it's just going to kind of wave around almost like the ocean. A couple of water features, and it's going to be next to the resort and obviously the water park next to it. I've also done a coach car park, as you just saw briefly there. And as the coaches come in, they have a special road they can go down to either go down the resort pathway, which is separate from the cars, as the cars have a little entrance way they can go through. But also they've got their own separate car park if they're going to the theme park separately. Now, I did spend absolutely ages building a single decker bus to bring guests in instead, but it took way too long. So I've ended up going the easier path, just so the guests walk from those coaches all the way back down. So it just took way too long, and as you can see, it's just, the path is just ridiculously long. So I've just ended up skipping that completely and just going with an easier thing. I've also custom decorated the sides of the buses so they fit in a little bit. I probably should make that different colours. The orange and yellow is a little bit in your face. So yeah, I'll show you a little bit what it looks like at night time. Now it's night time, you can see all these tiki statues will light up, as well as signs showing people where to go, as the theme park will be open a little bit during the night, and obviously the resort will be open during day and night. Might close, I'm not too sure, I need to look up a resort timetable. But yeah, as we come down the road, it says welcome aloha, and on the other side it says bye in Hawaiian or whatever the language is. I think it's Hawaiian, I can't remember what it's called. But the resort's just going to go all the way around there and kind of just fit around. And obviously you've got the corals and the water lighting up. I did that bit off camera just because it took me quite a while to kind of set up the sequencer, and being honest, you don't really want to see all that anyway. So now coming into the time lapse of today's video. If you do want to see it, make sure you skip to the end to watch the timestamps. But at the moment, I'm filling in the gap in between the 2 roads. I was going to do this off camera, but I've just shortened it down. A very long moment of me doing this, like putting flowers down, making them different colours and stuff like that, just to make sure that it all looks pretty and well planted and presentable for guests when they come in, as that's quite important. The theme parks do quite a lot. For example, in Disney, they will use the flowers and tulips outside the front to make like a Mickey face and stuff like that. I tried to make waves using the blue flowers, but it doesn't look the best really, but I tried my best and it does look a little bit like that. But the main important section is towards the car park, where you've got this little pool where the sculpture, or the whatever you want to call it, the statue will come out, fountain even. I wanted to have this turtle statue with the little being on like a pontoon sort of thing. I'm using a little circle trick there just to kind of get the idea that it's floating in the middle, but it's not too unrealistic where you can't really notice that it's floating in the water. It's kind of stood up, held up by this platform, and it also helps me hide a bunch of like pieces like the rotational motor, what are they called, the little moving platform thing. But yeah, I've also added these turtles below to make it spin around. It looks really cute when they spin around, and it all keeps it in line and stuff like that. An important thing to keep in mind when you're doing this is to sink the rotor and build up from that, because I made that mistake, and if you did a giant structure it would take a while. But what did take a while was moving these water jets to be the perfect sort of movement away from the fountain center itself, but not so far away it's noticeable when the sequencer's moving them about. Now, I did cut out the sequencing of today's video, but if you do want to see sequencing in the future, do let me know down in the comments, and I might even do a tutorial on it in the future, maybe, just to see what it looks like. I was thinking about making a mister go off or something, but it didn't look that good because it kind of blocks everything out, which I wanted it to look a bit natural. And I also wanted the little water jets to have another spout coming out and splashing it, but it was going to go on the road and it didn't look the best. Almost like the water jets in that Moana area in Epcot in is that Florida, isn't it? Yes, in the same area where this is meant to be built. Now I am decorating it now with these rocks. The rocks are in this game have repeated textures, but they still look good when they're under the water, so it's not like it was massive to use all different sorts of pieces. But obviously music is needed, making sure you can't see the speakers and stuff. And these little barnacles, which I think are really cool pieces, work really well in this completely. You don't really notice them too much, but if you were looking at it for a little bit you would notice them. I did hide a couple as well, so if you were looking for them you would see them quite easily. So I have added coral. I don't know if it's a bit too colourful, but I quite like it. It gives the look that it's in this sort of theme where it's like under the water, so people will know what it is, and it's quite sweet, I think, how the coral kind of glows at night as well. So you'll see this at night. Well, I don't think I've got it at night at the end. I'll make sure to show you at night in another video when I've got a little bit more done, because the surrounding area doesn't look too pretty at the minute, so I'll make sure to do that off camera. Now you're seeing me do this little rock trick. We use this in Planet Zoo. It's a little rock trick and you put little grasses in between it, and it just gives this little rock pile effect. Now, I did try multiple attempts to add grasses in the middle, as you're probably seeing now, but I ended up just deleting the grasses and keeping it rocky because it looks a lot better. And I wanted the sand, but it looked a bit plain with just the sand, so the rocks look a lot better. But later on I do texture it a little bit to make it look a little bit more natural, because it did look a bit stupid with all the sort of dry grass and just the sand. It looked a bit harsh, so I softened it down a little bit and added another welcome aloha sign. The cars can just a bit fit through underneath that. A coach would have no chance, so definitely different. Now, moving on to my favourite part, which is adding foliage to everything. This is what I'm used to in Planet Zoo, so I've definitely got this covered in my skill set. But what I don't have covered in my skill set is building. Now, the building took me absolutely ages. The Polynesian house. You'll see that I'll show a longer clip at the end of the Polynesian house. Just a little video showcasing it in the front plaza. And you've got a video of, a picture of the front plaza as it is, so you guys can have a little look around and see what you think about it. I think it is a little bit silly how big it is, but the thatch pieces used for the roof just don't fit sort of smaller structures. So I do hope in the future they let us make things not a lot smaller, but size down some of the pieces they create, especially thatch pieces, because I'd like to use them, but them not to be so big, because the house is a little bit disproportional to what they are in real life. Usually the houses aren't massive, so yeah. So you just saw the before and after photos. It's not massive, but it kind of gives that illusion where you can actually see what's gone on. So now you can see the actual Polynesian house in the entrance plaza. So you're going to see this entrance plaza a lot, so I'm not going to show you too much of it right now, but it's got some lovely music in the back as you enter. I wanted this sort of inspirational sort of music to go in. Obviously in the resort you've got that ukulele sort of noise you hear in a minute, but this one is just so you've got that soothing theme in the back. I've also outlined one of the other ones, so you can see that. So you can see here a little bit now, the birds in the back, happy music, guiding guests into the front with these jumping water jets in the coral reef. So that's it for today's video. I do hope you guys all enjoyed, and if you did, please let me know by hitting the subscribe button down below to see more of my channel. I do Planetary content if you do like that too, and I've also got my Avatar Frontiers of Pandora series, which should continue after this one. See you soon, bye!